Hi there and welcome back to Gibbie Gaming, and this is going to be a video response to Ginger Hippy Gaming 42, his community challenge. So his community challenge was to picture yourself going back in the day and picking up a game from a video rental store. So you only got to pick out one game for 24 hours, and that's the game that you could play for the next 24 hours based on its cover art or based on things that you liked at the time. So that got me kind of thinking, and I do remember going to video shops a lot. I don't remember renting many games though when I was younger. I think one game I did rent was X-Men on Mega Drive, but that was that's when I was really young. But a movie that I remember renting, I'm sure we rented it, was the Aliens movie. I've got it here on the PSP, so the UMD, I don't have the DVD or even the VHS. But the Aliens movie was brilliant and we loved that when we were younger. And that made me pick this game because all the reviews I've seen of this game are terrible. Horrible reviews. But I thought, and that made me kind of always skip it. I've always looked past it and never gave it a go, but I thought this was a perfect opportunity to give it a go, and it's Aliens Colonial Marines. So to get the good parts out of the way, I think the game is good in the sense that it's got really good fan service. After watching the movie and then playing the game, you can see a lot of the locations from the movie in here. Like for example, your base of operations is the operations room from the movie. So that's the part in the movie where the aliens come through the crawl space in the ceiling, and then there's a big battle. So that's where you go in the game, and that's where you kind of set up your camp. And it's really true to its fan service, I think, to a certain extent. I really like the sounds of the guns. There's a couple of guns in the games, but for me, I only used the pulse rifle and the shotgun. I didn't even touch the other guns. There is some customization for the guns and things like that. There's a certain part of the game where you have to use the smart gun, which is pretty cool. I liked using the smart gun. That was pretty cool actually. And yeah, there's loads of little callbacks to the movies. Once you get planetside, the first kind of audio log you find is a audio log of Newt's mum, and she's calling home. And you know it's Newt's mum because you hear Newt coming onto the audio log at one point, asking for her mummy to come meet her dad in the cafeteria, I think it was. So that was a really nice little nod to add Newt into the game. Another cool thing in the game is you get to pick up legendary weapons. So you get to pick up Hicks's shotgun, you pick up Hudson's pulse rifle, and Vasquez's smart gun, and that's really cool actually, because once you get Vasquez's smart rifle, you can see her bandana and it's wrapped around the barrel or the handle of the gun, so that's a nice little nod as well. And the game starts off with Corporal Hicks's distress signal, and that's how you kind of that's how you start the game. So you're on board the Sephora and you get the distress signal from Hicks on the Sulaco, and you go onto the Sulaco to see what's happening, and you find out that it's all gone wrong. There's alien infestation everywhere. And then the Botany Leyland group, mercenaries, they're already on board and they start shooting. And then you end up on the surface, and that's where for me I thought it was really pretty cool. I liked the fan service of the game, but I think that's where the game excelled. That was the only kind of part of the game I thought was good. The rest of the game is pretty poor. The hit detection's completely off. There's a lot of plot holes and things, but I think the game tries to cover over the plot holes, but it's just not. It's not really believable. But yeah, if in spirit of this kind of a community challenge, if I was to have rented this game, I wouldn't have been so disappointed with it. But I do know back when it did release, there was so much promise, there was so much hype around the game, and it just kind of fell flat in its face. Again, I've not played any of the multiplayer, I've only played the the campaign through, and for the most part I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the campaign. I did enjoy fighting the xenomorphs, fighting the Wayland guys. That was a bit tough, because I don't know, I just thought the hit detection was kind of poor. I didn't think it worked that well. But anyway, that was my video response to Sai at Ginger Hippy Gaming. I know the other guys are doing it differently. They're probably doing it properly. I've done it wrong. They're doing a little short video on what game they picked, and then they go away for 24 hours and play it. But what happened with me was I seen Sai's Facebook post, and I straight away replied to it and told him what game I was going to play. So I missed the whole kind of introduction of the instruction part of this video response. So I just went straight into finishing the game after 24 hours and then doing my video. Georgie Slasher Gaming, he shouted out somebody on his video, and that was Lame Dad. He did an honest review of this game, and it was a good review. And when he did this, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I did stick this game on and I done the first mission, and I thought to myself, this game isn't bad because it's just a first person shooter. You know, like, you could pick up the controller and you knew straight away your triggers were shoot. You knew the left trigger was to aim down iron sights. So it's a very easy to pick up game to play. But yeah, today would be the day that I'd be sending this back to the video shop, and I wouldn't be too disappointed to send it back, to be honest. It's okay. I like the fan service. I like the sound effects with the smart gun, because I think that's a really iconic Aliens sound effect. Some of the levels are pretty cool. You got to wander around in. AI was awful. The AI some of the aliens just started to clip in the background. The graphics as well, I thought the graphics were okay when they worked, but there was a lot of times with texture popping. Like, I'd walk up to like say a vehicle, and then it would just be a solid block, and then once you got right up close to it, then the texture would pop in and you could see like the doors and the writing and things like that. So the graphics could have been better, but I mean, they were okay on that whole, but not good enough, I don't think. But anyway, that's my video response to Sai, Ginger Hippy Gaming, and the game I chose to play for 24 hours was Aliens Colonial Marines. Not as bad as everyone says, but not great either. Cheers, thank you very much.